this beat play, Ray. I told you gotta continue to learn East Coast hip hop music.
I'm learning.
You gotta learn. This is produced by Havoc. This is Mobb Deep, Apostles' Warning, from their third album, the Hell on Earth album. This is when Prodigy was really at his prime. Rest in peace, Prodigy, with his bone-chilling rhymes about robbing and torturing people over Havoc beats. Just very few could really do it like he did. Prodigy had health problems and then got into drugs and alcohol and did a 3-year bid up on Rikers Island.
Wow.
And Jay-Z dissed him. Jay-Z pulled out a picture of him wearing a tutu as a little kid on Summer Jam in the Prodigy Jay-Z beef on Takeover, and he was never really the same after that. You turn the music down. I couldn't find an instrumental without swearing in it, so I don't want to pay the FCC fine. So please turn that down. So as we close out, I found an interesting story, and like I said, when you're here, Ray, it's always a much better show.
Thank you.
When you're here, as opposed to when Jeremy and I are kind of going back and forth for 30 minutes. Brian Colangelo from the Philadelphia 76ers, he lost his job last week. He got fired, but he resigned, quote unquote, but he was supposed to get fired. He was the GM of the 76ers. So what happened was, as all GMs do, I mean, they have an account on Instagram and Twitter. He was privy to information on the players and their well-being and physicals and potential trades, stuff that's going on in the personal lives of the players, because he's the GM of the franchise. The reason that he got whacked was because there were several accounts that are referred to as Twitter burner accounts, meaning that it's a person pretending to be someone. So if I wanted to pretend to be Miss Ray Black for Arizona, Miss Exceptional Woman Arizona, I could set up multiple burner accounts. And if I knew information about you, I could leak stuff to the general public about your movements and what's going on with Arizona pageants, anything that you have. When everything came to light, and there was research done, and these accounts had posted some information, actually a HIPAA violation, saying that, hey, we had a player that Jahlil Okafor failed a physical.
Wow.
Because he had a torn meniscus or issues with his knees, stuff about Joel Embiid. It was found out that it was his wife that was creating these Twitter burner accounts. So he's coming home from work, as any of us that are in a relationship do. You have pillow talk, you're talking to the spouse, and you're saying, hey, baby, I had a rough day at work today because our star basketball players are fighting over, because they're in a fight. One of our players is performing poorly because his girlfriend dumped him. The other one has a bad left ankle. His wife was taking this stuff and putting it out there into the Twitter sphere through a fake account.
Wow.
Did an investigation on this, and ultimately Brian Colangelo lost his job. I'm curious, because I think he kind of threw his wife under the bus. So when it happened, he called a press conference and basically said, well, this wasn't me, this was my wife. I personally think that you got to ride with your spouse. Like, even if your spouse makes a mistake, like, you can never throw your wife
That's true.
under the bus publicly, rather it's her fault or not. He's the one, he didn't have to tell his wife about all of this stuff. Like, he could have kept his work at the office.
Yeah.
So the wife wouldn't have had the information to make these fake accounts if her husband hadn't been leaking all of this stuff. But I think you always ride with the woman in your life. It doesn't matter if you're a GM making millions of dollars a year. If your wife hates your guts because you threw her under the bus to the media, your life's going to be miserable.
Yeah, forever.
Curious of your thoughts.
Well, whose wife does that anyway? Like, that's in poor taste on her part.
Well, we've seen a lot of wives get in. Steph Curry's wife used to get pretty spicy with it back in the day. And I mean, they're winning a championship every year, so she didn't have nothing to say. But she's been on Twitter defending her husband. I mean, there are a lot of wives
like a good wife, yes.
there are a lot of wives that have come up and said things that are maybe a little bit out of pocket from a
fake
business
Twitter,
but a fake account. Correct.
Doing too much. But yes, so you need to ride with your wife.
So
if you plan to stay married.
So from a woman's perspective, how does a woman feel when her husband throws her under the bus, even if it's her fault?
Probably betrayed.
Wow.
Probably betrayed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Betrayal is not a good thing to have on your jacket. We're at the end of the show. Thanks for everyone to continue to listen. We continue to get better every week and enjoy doing the show. Shout out to everybody here in Phoenix. Shout out to Jeremy, our producer, who always does a fantastic job. My man Jay Winston, Mr. Rubicon, everybody listening back home in Philly and on the East Coast. We'll be back next Sunday with more of the Lance J Radio Network on NBC Sports Radio Phoenix 1060. You're listening to the Paragon of Sports Talk Excellence.
If you are an athlete or a member of the hip-hop community and would like to be featured on the Lance J Radio Network, please contact our business manager, Patrick Green of Greenbacks Inc. at area code 646-768-6188, or our publicist, Dia Davis of Exquisite Marketing at area code 562-241-2461. The Lance J Radio Show is taped at the KDUS NBC Sports Studios in Phoenix, Arizona.